Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and happy Wednesday to the entire community. I think it's pretty cool that Twitter now provides its own music that we could play during spaces. It's continued to upgrade this platform, although there is still a lot of bugs in the platform. We know the constant rugging, the can't hearing co-hosts and speakers, and all the other bullshit. They are beginning to be a little bit innovative with the cool sound effects and things like being able to play music in the beginning and the end. So I don't have to. It saves me time. It saves me time having to find a song in the morning because they provide a couple music options. So shout out to Twitter. I'm going to give them a round of applause for that. Oh, excuse me. As a host, that is very useful for me. And I recommend every host play music in the beginning of their spaces as they wait for the audience to kind of trickle in. Um, but let's get right into it, y'all. Let's get right into it. Breaking news: Europe's largest bank with 11 trillion is entering the NFT market and metaverse after they revealed a patent today. This is never news anymore. It's not even news anymore. We're used to this. We expect this. We're not surprised by this. It's just another day. It's just another day in the market. It's just another day in the market. It's just something I got to announce to let everybody know. But if we take a step back, we take one step back and observe what's going on. I'm going to keep on saying this. I'm going to keep on saying this. Yesterday was Fidelity, the multi-billion-dollar asset manager uh, firm that announced that they're entering with their own marketplace, crypto marketplace, and NFT marketplace. And today, the largest bank in all of Europe, the largest bank in all of Europe says, "Hey, we're going balls deep into this thing." And guess what happens when the biggest boy on the block decides to do something? The smaller guys on the block decide to follow, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So shout out to the to Europe for taking action, for seeing that, hey, if we want to last another 100 years in this place, in this market, then we have to adjust, we have to adapt, and we have to evolve. We're going to see more of this. We've been seeing this. This is not new. This is not new to any of us, right? So it is great news to me, and it puts a smile on my face because I know many others will follow suit, and they're leading the way. Michael Strategy. Yesterday we talked about Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor. If you guys don't know who Michael Saylor is, he's a domainer, a guy who made millions and millions and millions of dollars selling .coms, and he's pretty much gone into going all in on Bitcoin, just literally Bitcoin, right? And basically the whole thesis behind Bitcoin and how it's the most soundproof invention of money to ever exist on the face of the planet, has just purchased an additional 2,500 Bitcoin, which is about $41 million. He purchased basically an additional $41 million. Wow, I just got a message saying that you guys can't hear any music. That is hilarious. Oh my God. Let me try to play that music again for you guys just to see what I was talking about just shortly. Well, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because it doesn't play when the mic is on. So I guess I don't know if it only plays for the host. I don't know. I don't know. But thank you guys for letting me know. That is hilarious. I'm vibing to this music, and you guys are saying,
I heard it yesterday, Kev. I heard it yesterday when I first came on. Didn't hear
okay,
it today.
okay, it's not a me problem. It's like I was saying, it's a Twitter problem. Okay, there we have it, guys. If you didn't hear the music, it was not me, guys. It was it was Elon and Twitter problem. But like I was saying, back to what I was saying, Michael Saylor now holds 132,000 Bitcoin approximately, which is worth about $4 billion. A lot of that he holds is in the negative though. So let's not just get fooled by the numbers. He's in deep negatives, but he's doing what any smart person would do, dollar cost averaging, right? So that being said, though, that's going to be a very, very, very wealthy individual come the next cycle. He knows this. He knows this. If he's going all in on crypto, just purchase an additional 41 million. Obviously, all that's not his money. Why aren't we doing that? right? I'm sure we are doing that. I'm just speaking hypothetically here. So just keep that in mind. Shout out to MicroStrategy, and I'm excited to see what they do, what their earnings are, what their profits are come next cycle, because they're going all in. They're going balls deep into this thing. Next, I thought this was pretty interesting news that I kind of missed, but it's definitely something to talk about. It looks like, and shout out to Shooter.eth for posting this. He posts great content. Um, he says it looks like ENS might acquire .eth TLD from ICANN. That would mean .eth domains will resolve in any Web 2 browser. That would be huge if that happens. And it looks like he posted a conversation from Brantley and Luke from the ENS Labs team. So these guys are legit. And if that was to happen, ladies and gentlemen, it is game over. Game over. The day that .eth could resolve to any Web 2 browser is literally game over. I'm going to personally call Ron's phone. I'm going to say, Ron, get the yacht. We're going to celebrate. And that's how I feel about that. Get the yacht started. We're coming. We're going to celebrate because we would have officially made it. And I really predict it would only take about a couple months, probably less than 12 months of that official announcement between we start seeing some record breaking astronomical sales that rivals those of the .com. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. I know we have a lot of smart people, a lot of dedicated people working behind the scenes, and it's just a matter of time until we see that manifest into reality, because it's not if, but when that happens, right? And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already retweeted this space, please do me a favor. I pinned it to the top. Give us a retweet. Let's get a little bit more people in this room. I look forward to the discussion today. I'm gonna pass it over to our co-host RN1. The stage is yours, brother.
Thanks, Kev. I was just tweeting it because I was on my other space. I didn't get in to retweet. I usually retweet it right before you launch it. But no, thanks for pinning that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Kev. Yeah. Game freaking over. Stick a fork in it. We're done if that happens, because, it's such a big part. And I know there's a lot of people in this space that have done, especially like Gary Palmer and yourself, Kev. A lot of people in this space know that a big part of um, the value of .com was just in the indexing and the organic traffic, right? The searches. One of the things I do, we had I think it was Dev something up here yesterday. I know he was new to the space, talking about asking about different things and kind of the similarities and stuff. But a big part of it was that organic traffic, right? And he was asking us about what do we do as part of our analysis. I do a few things when I'm looking at ENS, and one of them is always I look for Google traffic, because that Google traffic is so important. Like, I have friends that work at big companies that literally have like $2.5 million a week in advertising budgets, right? And if they can ever buy a domain because of its organic traffic, search traffic. I mean, if you go in and you type in, let's just say, um, hotel directory or whatever it is, it could be anything, right? That's just a natural keyword that people type in a lot. That organic traffic is very valuable, and it's usually indexed higher than other things. And you notice there's a lot of like sponsored pay per click type advertising, but yeah, that top level domain, those keywords become so much more valuable. Um, so I do that as part of my domain, just in case that ever, when people start typing in .eth or they're looking for Web3 stuff, or it just becomes a habit. Yeah, I would be so excited about that, Kevin. Yeah, it is. We're done if that happens. And you know what? There's a million other things that can happen that render us done. Um, I woke up this morning before seeing this news, to be honest with you, and I was kind of kind of thinking maybe it's going to take longer than we thought. That's been my. I was up about 4 in the morning, and for the next 4 hours, I thought, oh, maybe maybe it's even going to take longer, and it might, and we have to be ready for that. But these big things that are happening, like Kev said, they're old news. They don't move the market so much because it is so early, but these companies are making moves. I was reading a story last night how Japan is making big moves to integrate metaverse stuff and make it a little friendlier, the laws and stuff. They really want to encourage it. These people have no choice, right? These big companies have no choice, and they're probably making a lot more moves than we think. We only hear about them. It doesn't move the market because it's so early, but they really have no choice. This is the future, right? And Michael Saylor buying those another $41 million in Bitcoin. I mean, first off, that dude is the Giga Chad, right? I mean, holy crap. He's underwater billion plus. And what does he do? He doubles down. And if you look at old videos, he bought voice.eth and sat on it for 10 years and sold it for $30 million. This guy has vision. And not only does he have vision, but we all hear about diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. There's an old video of him when he was only buying Apple. He's like, why would I buy anything else when I know that Apple's going to outperform it? Now the fact that he only likes Bitcoin and not Ethereum, I think at his level, when you're throwing billions of dollars, I don't think he, I think he can only play I often joke that we're all playing the penny slots and the $5 blackjack tables and masters in the high roller suite, right? Well, um, Michael Saylor's in his own suite. He can only play in the high roller suites, or maybe they have a suite just for him. I mean, he's playing with such big numbers that I think and I know he believes in Bitcoin and he's just looking at store of value different than us, but one step down from that is Ethereum, right? And I think we're all making a big bet on Ethereum. But yeah, good news. Excited to be here. There's always that stuff that builds us up. That's why it's nice to have the community and everyone here dropping alpha, making us aware of what's going on, sharing ideas. But yeah, that's some big stuff, Kev, and that kind of made me think. Yeah, it is going to take a long time, but it could also happen today, tomorrow, next week, next month. So let's be prepared for both options. And yeah, I look forward to it. I appreciate everyone coming and supporting the space and supporting us, and look forward to today's conversation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I want to piggyback off what Ron said and the importance of that. Google searches or organic traffic, things like that of the .com made a lot of .coms extremely valuable. What I mean by that is somebody who just types in, who's looking for insurance, for example, and this is why insurance.com sold for hundreds of millions of dollars. Excuse me, y'all. Whatever that price was, um, is because if somebody types in insurance on Google, uh, all these insurance websites are paying top of the dollar to bid on the keyword insurance, to be on the first page of Google or whatever. You're paying top of the dollar. It's one of the most expensive words to bid on because one of the most lucrative businesses, and these guys are emptying their bank account to bid on these words to show up on Google page. But when you just simply own the word insurance.com, you don't need to spend hundreds of millions of dollars that these guys are spending every year on advertising to get their page shown, because people are naturally organically going to flow to insurance.com. That insurance.com is naturally going to be on the first page of Google, right? That's why some of those .com single letter .coms are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, like insurance.com. When you're able to put in insurance.eth and it shows up on Google and it automatically shows up on in any Web2 browser, the playing field is now even. The playing field, it becomes even because not only does this thing have all its Web3 utility that we're not going to go fully deep into because we know a lot of that, But now you have the Web 2 utility on why advertisers are paying top of the dollar for some of these keywords. So that is huge. It's an absolute game changer because, you know, it's what the advertisers are looking for. And if people are willing to bid on the word, then you have yourself a great domain. So that's what Ron means by he always checks the search volume, the cost per click. How and the way you could do that is etsybot.com. Type in any of your domains, scroll down a bit, and it will show you the Google search volume. It will show you how much advertisers are paying for that particular domain. Anything, in my opinion, above $12 is is very high. Is very high. So with that being said, I'll pass it over to our co-host, Ron. I'm not Ron, our co-host, Master. Master, the stage is yours, brother.
Hey, good morning, guys. First of all, I want to apologize to you guys that yesterday I was not able to speak on this, space. I was able to actually to dial in, at the beginning, but it turned out to be it was very late of my time, and I kind of felt asleep, unfortunately. And because I just got recovered from COVID, 2 days ago, and I finally become a negative, and the whole process made me very sleepy and very exhausted. And after the day works, and when it comes to my midnight, I was so sleepy in the time. So but fortunately, all my dreams is about you guys voices, and until I wake up I was like, what? Everything stopped in 1 second. So yeah, I think finally it's great, to get back to this space and talk to you guys and share the great stuffs, because right now the clock here in my time zone is already December the 29th, which means 2022 only have 3 days to go. And I believe there were a lot of significant, great, splendid things happen in this year, especially for Web3, for ENS, for all the people with the patience that we just know the project, or we have been with the project for quite some time, quite some years in the past. So it's been a tough period. It was not easy. Just like when you have the domain, you want to get tier the domain become very valuable, or it can do something great, just like the .com age. Usually when we buy some coins, the coin will have some price, or you will have some chart to follow, but domain is just like an isolated separate thing, unless it is something like the 99 club or 10k club with a floor that we got somewhere to trace. But yeah, for majority of the names, I believe patience is all what we need to be with us, and to for us to undergo the whole bull and the bear, and till the final perfect buyer shows up. And regarding the just now we were discussing about the TLD.eth, from the ICANN. I believe this is not a news. First of all, this has been something 3 years ago when Brantley published some some of his opinion. And as a matter of fact, right now, first of all, Bradley doesn't represent ENS team official anymore. And at the meantime, right after he published this, 3 years ago, I kind of had a conversation with him to talk about the possibility. First of all, if you look it from a very macro way, maybe it makes all the sense. But there can be a lot of following up questions. For example, how do we resolve on the collection of the names, if the TLD have some registration, like master.eth is owned, NFT version is owned by me, but if they also have some of the TLD version and someone else maybe bid it and auction it, and how do we resolve that collection? Or in other way, maybe the .eth current owner always directly can claim the traditional TLD. But if that is the case, every time the transfer of the NFT, that TLD table need to be updated accordingly. So who is going to maintain that kind of the record? So yeah, I kind of asked those questions to Brantley, and it was very obvious to me that he didn't have the answer. He have a clue. He just think this is something great, but there was no one to follow up. And at the meantime, he says that ENS team already tried to make some attempt to communicate with ICANN, but ICANN guys was so cool and so top. uh, look you from say look ENS to by looking with some random guys. They don't believe ENS is anything, significant enough to make them, think or treat it seriously. So so right now I believe nothing, very critical or nothing, big has been changed on this path. So yeah, it can be something good, but always think twice and think the technical part. How is that going to work? If there could be two people's only same name, and in Web 2 and Web 3, if there's a collision, then maybe there will be more serious issue happening when there's a lot of conflict of the interest of the the utility wise. So yeah, I believe uh, the only part that I see good from this is that more and more possibilities has been throwing into the ideas. Maybe ENS DAO team, ENS core team, they can work on something, or they can treat one another proposals to see whether or not we can, add further add value on top of that. Because from the community wise, all we can do is maybe making ENS market a very hot one. Maybe we can keep building and make lots of the .eth, the websites. That's all what we can do. But about the cooperation, about the the integrations, about the those paperwork and the legal works, that's something from the ENS founding team, and we'll see how they fully handle that. We unfortunately, I see right after Bradley got departed from ENS team, after he got kicked out, be- the day before Brantley got out, ENS has 500 of integrations. But right now, ENS still have less than 600 something. So the pace has been slowed down, after the hero got no longer being in servicing with the, the core role within that team. But this still doesn't, make any influence to ENS. It's still the number one of the blockchain projects. There's no doubt for that. So yeah, right now maybe this is the current status. We see that by 2022, the past year, we have seen within 1 week all the 3 digits and 4 digits got swept, and to be made a floor. Although the 3 digits maybe at the beginning it raised to be very high, close to 30 or even 40 east of the floor price, and it now dropped to something 15. But man, these are still 15 floor. 15 east floor is still significant, right? Because you can free mint, all the 3 digits right before April of this year. So imagine what kind of the profit to make. And at the meantime, I keep reminding to people, ENS needs a renewal. It's not you buy it, you will own it permanently, and the 3 digits and 4 digits, yeah, renewal is not cheap, which means if majority of the 3 digits are minted by April this year, which means by April 2023, there will be a mass, expiration. So by that time, all the 3 digits and 4 digits owner who just registered earlier this year, they might face a choice of whether sell it directly to the floor or they pay another 640 to renew it and see by the next year. Maybe after the renewal period, after people all made their decision, most of the names they will get renewed for sure. I'm so sure for that. Maybe after that, maybe the floor price will have another boost, given all the chips has been changed hands, and maybe they change to the strong hands, and people can do something on that. I think probably, but and always keep in mind that you must know everything of the asset you are buying. That's the most critical part. Like if you're buying a coin, like a dodgy coin, or you're buying some other else coin, you must know what this coin is about. Even you don't know all the detailed contract or the protocol or the coding part, but you should know its utility part, what it is doing. So ENS, same case, you need to know exactly what it can do. All the association, go to the ENS app, check all these coins, and then associate to couple ones that you have a wallet, and then understand all the part with the social media and the D webs. And if you don't know how to associate these, then check someone else their associations. If you don't don't have an IPFS site, check someone or some address. If you don't know some, I will share with you some. So check how others are associating and access those IPFS sites and feel the difference. Then you will understand a bit further regarding what these names, what these babies, what these girls mean to you, and what could be their potential, right after a couple of years. So this is very important, and you also need to know that the domain will be expired and when to expire. You need to set up a clock or reminder on yearly basis. If it's it's 5 digits plus, which will only cost you $5 per year, then I recommend you to do it maybe once every 10 years. You register, you pay $50 in one time, and it will save you a couple, gas fee instead of you doing it on every yearly basis. So this is the basic homework we need to do. We need to know what we are buying. We need to know what we are holding, and then we will need to set up a vision accordingly. And maybe when that target comes, when that DM shows up, when some negotiation or some attempt comes, then we are 100% ready. Otherwise, if you are buying something you believe that makes a lot of sense, but eventually it's always there nobody asking, then yeah, I mean, that's the difference of you really know it or not. Lots of people I see, they register lots of the foreign language of the names that they don't even know these meanings themselves. You need to check with those countries people. You need to use Google Dictionary to check its meaning. But I believe that's not the very smart thing to do, because if this name really carries value, why these countries people can be slower than you, right? It's yeah. So playing a domain is always like this. Don't try to act smarter than others, because the investing market, the domain market is always like this. The good ones, it must be taken very early, and the ones that you are still able to register in a very later phase, you need to double think. You need to consider twice. Maybe it's not so valuable. Maybe right now it makes sense to you to this minute, but long term wise, if you check with 10 person, maybe I don't think they will agree with you in these times, because every name after 1 million registration, maybe not so much, unless it's your personal name or it's your newly created some combination. So yeah, the domain is not we win by quantity. It's always we win by quality. You own one good name, it's good enough for you guys to hold it to sell the price of the same prefix of .com. That's something good to do. And you should already have 5 years or 10 years renewal paid, and you have nothing to do, just close the account and uninstall the application and wait for someone to DM you or send you an email like that. Yeah, I think overall that's the 2022. Lots of amazing, crazy things happening. But I believe in 2023, the next year, we will see something greater. Right? This year, we see there are some names being sold for very high price, like Porno, Porno, got sold for something like 200, or and the 000 also sold for 300. I think yeah, that can be a start, because if we are changing the suffix from .eth to .com, then maybe yeah, we see the ceiling could be slightly higher. And I'm very bullish on that. I never had a doubt on that, especially at the beginning. I was just a domain collector, and right on now I'm building something on top of it. I'm trying to make a D-web to utilize the .eth its usage, and at the meantime I understand the name wrapper, and I'm preparing something for the subdomain for some of my projects. So I believe when I get inside of it, it just makes me feel more confident and more convincing that we are on the winning team. We are on the right lane, and we are so sure that we are all going to make it. Thanks much, guys. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, Master, for that, and lowering the expectations just a bit with the TLD from ICANN, saying, "Hey, guys, it sounds great, but there's a lot more logistics actually that goes behind that." So we'll see how it plays out over time. I think you make great points. Appreciate you for sharing that insight with us. But I do have a special word for our sponsor who makes this show possible every day, vpn.eth.limo. Are you tired of feeling vulnerable and exposed online? Do you worry about your personal data being tracked and collected without your consent? With VPN.eth.limo, you can take control of your online privacy and security. Our easy to use website allows you to compare the best VPN providers and features so you can choose the right one for you. A VPN will protect your location, hide your IP address, and encrypt your internet traffic, ensuring that your personal data stays private. Don't wait any longer to take back your online security. Visit vpn.eth.limo now and sign up for a VPN today. Protect yourself and your loved ones from the prying eyes of hackers and cyber criminals. Sign up and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with a secure and private internet connection. We have two people with their hand up. Before I get to you, I'm going to go to our guy, NFT Verse. Verse, thank you for coming back on the show, brother. The stage is yours.
Yeah, man, I'm back. GM, everybody. 5159 RM1 Master. Not going to take up too much time, man. I know it looks like people are anxious, man, to get some conversation started. So I won't be long. But just GM to the whole entire community, GM to the other speakers. Man, thanks for everybody tapping in to the ENS update show, man. I mean, you guys covered so much. Kev, Master, and Ron, especially like the Michael Saylor thing was huge for me. I was almost just kind of waiting around to see if he was gonna do some type of dollar cost average with the Bitcoin purchase, and then all of a sudden, bam, here he comes, man, on the scene. Uh, it, I don't know what he knows, man, but he has a certain level of conviction in Bitcoin. I don't believe anybody else has in the whole entire crypto space, man. So, man, when things turn around, I can't even imagine, where he's going to be at, and some of the things that he's going to do. It'll be interesting to see, what he will continue to kind of build out from his Bitcoin investments, because I don't think he's going to stop there. As the market starts to turn around, we'll see, but it'll be truly interesting. We've talked about this before too, like when the big boys come in, right? When the big companies that were kind of just waiting on the sideline to see, what moves are being made, and what technology is being developed. They've been here the whole entire time. Like Kev said, it's not a surprise at this point. We know that they've been here. If they are smart and they've positioned their teams correctly, we know that they've been listening in, they've been paying attention, they've been watching and reading through the articles in the media, and understanding all the different events that are going on around decentralization and crypto and NFTs and even ENS itself. Trust me, it's not going on deaf ears when you see all the movement that's happening inside this space. One of the things that is very important to kind of realize is, this space will continue to grow. It'll continue to develop. I'm so ready for 2023, man. You guys don't understand. I'm so ready to see this space continue to grow. And what I mean by that too is I mean the community in general, because everybody in here, and even the other spaces that are going on right now for ENS, everybody plays a huge part of another growth phase that's got to take place. That growth phase is what's going to truly usher in the adoption, and we're going to need everybody on board with that particular, thought process and theory in order to make this happen. We got a space today, tonight at 8:30. Me and my guy Flossin, we're going to do the emoji space. Man, we've been getting a lot of good attendance in the emoji space. I think a lot of people are very interested in the emojis. And when I say emojis, I don't mean just the facial characters. I mean the keycaps, emojis too, that also play a huge part in the growth when we start to continue to build out the whole ENS ecosystem. There's so much opportunity that is there. We continue to say that we're early, and we are. There's not enough buyers or adoption in this market right now to really see it take off. I look forward to that day that when it does begin to take off, when we don't have to wallet watch golden bezos, because there's so many other people in here that are acquiring domains and securing their brands. We don't have to. There's no wallet watching because there's so many transactions occurring. You can't even keep up with it. Those are the days that I look forward to, where you're just part of that whole entire process because you trusted and had conviction in what you wanted to invest in. And that day will come. We just don't know exactly when, but it will. More people are going to continue to enter in this space. And the narrative, as it continues to grow with the big companies coming in and them securing their copyrights or trademarks and things like that, as it relates to NFTs and crypto and names and things like that, the writing is on the wall. You just got to be prepared to stick around and be ready to ride the ride. When it comes up, when it's ready to pick you up, you better jump on because at some point it's not going to stop, and it's going to be harder and tougher to even to try to get your way back in, because once it's locked up, the value is going to continue to increase, and you may find yourself priced out of something that you may have owned at one point and thought you was going to get it back later, but you find yourself priced out. So I think that these are important things to remember as you go on this journey. But yeah, man, I'm not going to hold everybody too long, man. Again, man, tap in tonight to the Moji space. Tap into any other space that is going on. Spaces between spaces. The Doobie, I know, and Get Hype and Queen. I know she's having some spaces, man. This this ecosystem continues to grow, and my goal going into 2023, and I think it's Flossen's goal too. I think that we've committed to making sure that we continue to reach out to brands and bring them aboard and onboard them the correct way, because we feel like that there's a gap right there. And if nobody else is going to do it, then he and I will step to the forefront and we'll do it. We'll make it happen. So we're going to do everything that we can to get these brands on board in the ENS and build and help them build out their ecosystem, because there's so much potential there for them and they don't even realize it. So I appreciate you, Kev. Always staying consistent, man. RM1 Master, the whole entire community. I look forward to the conversation. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Verse, for coming in and tapping by and staying consistent as well. We have two speakers who've been very patient, so we're going to go over to these guys. Let's go over to ETH Eklund. I can't pronounce that. Echelon. The stage is yours. Yes. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, thank you. And this is actually my first time in the ENS space. I have been in others, but basically, actually, yes, today or yesterday, I wasn't sure, but I was in another space, and we were talking DeFi in general. And then I put a question out there to the host, what he thought about ENS, and basically we were. Not arguing, but having a conversation about, for example, the fact of what ENS is today. And basically, we came up that today it's like the only utility that it has for now is the fact that it simplifies the fact that the address is not as long as the full-on Ethereum address, so you can make it more unique and smaller for the average person to send you something. And the other is that it's like a luxurious status. So it's like owning, for example, a number plate in Dubai. That's pretty much what it is today. And then we were talking about the fact that, for example, just so you guys know, I do have some sort of belief into the ENS future, but then I've been looking at a lot of other services. For example, the Unstoppable NFT, they're coming up with a lot of different services, and they are approaching projects and doing partnership. And what I want to ask you guys, that maybe you guys have a different idea than obviously the other spaces I've been, that where you guys think about the competition of the fact that maybe we're gonna flood the market with a lot of dot something like dot NFT, dot BTC, dot whatever, and that maybe dot ETH market might break somehow, or do you guys think that it's gonna retain the number one shares in terms of market cap, and then everything else goes under, An example would be like the .com. When the .com came, everybody was running for the .com, but then it became too expensive. So therefore, they created a .org, .io, whatever. So what do you guys think about flooding the market with so much dots coming like basically soon? Because a lot of other chains are doing the same. BNB has their own, and they are relatively cheaper, of course, of the ENS. When we think about actually one, I don't think it's a problem, but the fact that, for example, to have three letters or three number on ENS cost $650 a year. I'm not saying is expensive, but it's relatively more expensive than other service providers. And if, for example, a new wave, let's say in 2024 there is a new bull market and people come in and they want to have their own personal name in their Twitter or whatever, and then they're, instead of looking at an ENS, they're gonna look at somewhere where they can get their name cheaper. What do you guys think about that?
So, one, I want to say thank you for coming on and sharing your thoughts, expressions. Those are some pretty good questions. One, I want to break down the first thing you said with, and other speakers on stage, please feel free to jump in at any time. But that the only utility of a .eth is that it simplifies the Ethereum address is not true, right? There's so much more to what a .eth can do as of right now, simply besides only accepting and receiving payments, right? We have.
I apologize. I probably generalized it too much. Basically, I was just rephrasing the full discussion that I had in this other space. And we just came up, we were trying to find out, okay, what is that ENS is now? And obviously, that was not my response. It was the host response that in his thought, but like he doesn't see the value now because his thought was that the unique properties of an ENS right now is mostly a luxurious status. That's what he sees it. And of course, I was trying to giving like a different perception, but he couldn't give in. So we just left it there. And that's why I'm asking you guys so that I can learn something new that I can, for
Okay.
example, give it away in other spaces.
Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, makes sense. One, I would say dApps, decentralized websites, right, is a huge thing we're building on and working on right now for a lot of different .eth names, aka the sponsor of the show. If you type in vpn.eth on Web3 browser or vpn.eth.limo on any Web2 browser, it's a whole decentralized page. It's a whole decentralized page and a whole decentralized platform that is built on top of your .eth name, right? So yeah, the most basic utility of I feel like of a .eth is sending and receiving payments, but it gets a lot deeper structure from there, where people are going to be building whole entire business models. Check out xxx.eth.limo, which we just posted this landing page that we created for anybody who's interested in xxx.eth and learning more what's that about. We
I'm
just
checking right now.
Yeah, so check out vpn.eth.limo and then check out xxx.eth.limo. And these are examples of literally the first inning of what's to be built over the course of the next 12 months on top of these .eth domains. Number two, the comparison of other domain services compared to .eth. .eth is so far ahead of anything else, it's not even funny, right? It's so far ahead of Unstoppable, BNB, whatever other chains and platforms that are creating a domain service. It doesn't matter what they do or how they do it. In my opinion, it would take a lot for them to even get to where .eth is in today's market right now. Almost 3 million views. I mean, almost 3 million registrations, over 600,000 unique wallet participants. These numbers are great numbers that Unstoppable Domain could only dream of, right? And to even add on to on top of that particular statement is for other chains, and that let's step away from Unstoppable as right now. Let's go to other chains who want to create similar domain services, right? In my opinion, I think people are going to pay for the cream of the crop. People are going to pay for what is most massively adopted. People are going to pay for what has the most utility. People are going to pay for what their friends, family, major businesses are associating with, aka being the .eth. So another chain might come on and might come in, and yeah, they might take some of the market share, in my opinion, but I think it goes back down to the network effect of the dot. Let's look at the .com, for example. Yes, there's .org, there's .net, there's whatever else there is that exists, but .com stays the prominent of all of them. Why is that? A lot of that simply has to do with it was the first mover advantage. It had the network effect. It had the Metcalfe's law. So I'm not going to sit here and say there will be no other um, domain services that prevail or somewhat successful. I just don't think they will catch up to what .eth is. And even if they do catch up to where .eth is, .eth will be so much further along in 36 months than where it is today that there will be a gap there. But we have a couple people with their hand up. Echelon, I'll pass it back to you, and then we'll get some other responses from some other guests on stage.
So basically, I agree with everything you said. That's why I was asking, like, what do you think about the market share? And it's very good comparison to use the .com. Is the .com, of course, retained the creme de la creme. So therefore, the .eth could retain also. Itself also as the biggest market share, and therefore, let's say in 2 3 4 years from now, the newcomers are going to look for uh, the 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 first arriver. So I think that's all I was wondering about what you guys think. And also I checked one of the pin posts that you guys put. I would like to ask because I don't keep so much track about the ENS. I like the idea. I bought I think maybe 30 names or something like that. Unfortunately, actually, I haven't managed to get into the numbers wave. It got too expensive for me, so I basically tried to find some premium names of the chart. And for example, when you guys, when you couldn't say my name, it's Echelon, and Echelon is basically actually a military how can I say rank. So it's like if you are an upper echelon, it means like you are like top of the top G or something. But I was gonna ask that is ENS buying the .eth TLD?
That's the question. Go
Right.
ahead, Ken. Sorry.
The question is ENS the service provider buying the .eth TLD? That's what I was asking.
We can't answer that. As of right now, the answer of that is probably no. But nobody here is on the official ENS Labs team to confirm or deny that. So I'm just gonna say, as of right now, I have no information of them doing.
All right. So thank you very much, and I'll stay on and listen to everybody else. And thank you for the opportunity, guys.
Yeah, go. No, thank you, brother. You post some great insights and questions. Go. I know, Champ, you wanted to respond to that. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, only because like this is what I've been doing for like the last few weeks. Is literally laying out like use case by use case by use case. So Echelon, if you need this like in a more succinct format, I can give you I'll give you the quick run through, and if you need it written out, I literally have it at the ready. It's ultimately what you stated initially. Yeah, it's a human readable wallet address, right? What Kev was saying was you can build on every single facet of this, right? So it's not only just the ease of use for the name, right? There's compatibility when it comes to ENS, right? The dApps that you're going to be able to create or the decentralized applications. And that could be applicable if I show you what I have like sitting in a folder through like every small, medium, and even large size enterprise. There's security aspects, right? Because when you register with a secure decentralized system, it's going to help prevent a ton of fraud and protect user assets. Flexibility, right? They can be used to represent a wide range of Ethereum resources like NFTs, smart contracts, and cryptos. In addition, you talk about the customization aspect, and I'm literally reading this off my paper I have this at the ready. Like the customization aspect of Echelon, right? Where ENS names can ultimately be customized to match like whatever a user's desired brand or identity is. So flex and customization or brand identity for these huge Web 2 brands, when they're going to start making the transition over to Web 3, that's a huge thing. Look at like a Visa, for example, right? Why is Visa building an entire payment layer on Ethereum layer 2, right? There's going to need to come wallet addresses with that, right? Like maybe we do away with 16 friggin' digits, like, read off your credit card number. And maybe I'm NFL champion.eth, and that's where all of my statements come digitally and everything else, right? There's the interoperability factor, like, right? Because ENS names can be used like to facilitate interoperability between other Ethereum based platforms, right? When you think about it, every other EVM compatible chain, boom, you're good to go there. And then, like, when we're talking about intellectual property, right? Like, ease of access, ENS names can literally represent your IP. You can create stupidly simple, like, I mean, really simple ways for users to remember your content. And that's really, really like, I mean, that's useful when you have, let's say, like a large catalog of content, or you want to make it easy for people to like find or like access your work, right? When you look at when you look at sign-on with Ethereum, when you look at CCIP, I don't have to get into those and bore everybody. But the last thing I'll say is subdomains. Like subdomains themselves are probably what's going to carry this next boom that we might potentially, again, that's speculation, boom that we might see in the ENS marketplace. Like while we're still in a bear market overall in crypto, for the sole fact of organization, customization, interoperability, all those things that I labeled on top, like what you can do with subdomains is something really, really crazy. You can take everything I just mentioned and like literally use case it down now. And now it's like, hey, I now have a ready-made business if I own the top level domain. Now what do I do with everything underneath? Now I can essentially provide that same value to every person that mints a subdomain underneath my top level. So there's so many different echelon. If you need more help, I'm happy to provide it for you. Just let me know, bro. I hope that was helpful.
Hey, I'll drop a follow right now, guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, NFL champ, for that. Let's go over to Tav. Tav has been waiting very patiently. Tav, the stage is yours. Go ahead, brother. All right, we'll go over to Lex. Lex, the stage is yours, brother.
What's up? What's up? Good morning, everyone. Yeah, first off, Echelon, welcome to the community. Great question. And I think everyone put in great points. NFL champion, you really put the cherry on top of it. As a domainer, as a ETH domainer, and as pre Y2K domainer, I see the difference. I see the difference over the years. It's not just like looking at this web address and saying, oh, wow, I could potentially sell this or do a really cool website. It's like, no, it's almost like the actual domain itself is its own protocol. It's a mechanism within itself where you can, append music to it, append video, append wallets, append so many things. And what I do, and of course, reiterating what everyone's already said. But one of the things is, let's invite your friend, the one you were speaking to the next, to the next spaces. Or, I just actually DM'd you a really good space tomorrow. It's called Web3 Thursday, where one of our fellow colleagues, Wizard and Lydia, are going to be talking about how to, append MP3s and audio tokens to these protocols, to these .eths, and these are all these different functionalities that you can do as a builder, as a designer, as a developer, as someone who does marketing, so we look at it more as just a domain. We look at it as this space, this area, this mechanism that holds all these attributes together. I'm just giving you kind of a different look at it. I went ahead, I'm not sure if it's still pinned on top. I pinned on top a project, just worked on it really quick, just as an example. It's Audio ENS. It's a virtual gallery on OnCyber. That's an example of how I took about 40 or so ENS domains, with a niche that I'm working on, which is the actual audio headphones, right? So it would be headphones, podcast, headphones, music, musica, and different things. Now, what am I looking at? Is this just to like shill my stuff? No, nothing is for sale there, actually. It's just a way of saying, okay, this has a probability of being, subdomains, or the subdomains of these domains. In other words, these could be, categories in different podcasts. Whether it's politics, whether it's sports and stuff like that. These could be, subdomains for names of a specific genres of music. What was the top genre of techno? Was it electronica? Was it electro? And it could be entire categories, like an encyclopedia, and different things to go on there. And just I kind of want to give a technical and a non-technical kind of example of some of the questions and the conversations you guys have had. So yeah, I sent you a couple of DMs, some information on that, and yeah, participate more with the show. There's a lot more stuff that we're all learning from each other on what we can do. Like for instance, I was on an ENS Latino space this morning, and really quick, one of my dudes, OX Wizard, was like, "Hey, listen, check out this link. Let's go ahead on the content creative field. Let's go ahead and put some music you know, in the content field of some of those ENSs, where when someone clicks on it, it's going to play some music. That we don't have to create a website for that. That's already on the content field. So little things like that. So yeah, welcome to the community, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great response, brother. Thank you guys for coming on and providing great responses. Go ahead, Ron. Oh, maybe Ron unmuted by accident. All good, all good. We have my boy Flossin on. Flossin, go ahead, brother. Flossin, you there?
Hey, Kev, while we're waiting for people to log on,
Yep, go ahead, brother.
okay, no, I just want to, and also invite everybody in this community and people who are going to be listening to this in replay. Oncyber.io is a great, I want to say, environment for people who are non-techie, probably non-creative, but want to feel like they are, because you are. If you're already in this community, if you're in this realm, you are creative. There's a piece of you that's saying, yeah, I want to go in that field. OnCyber is a free site that you can go in and post up anything that you've minted. It could be Tez, it could be Ethereum. There's different chains, and you can go ahead and post your ENSs, your different crypto art, different NFTs, and it's a great way to display what you're working on. It's a great way. I have other this is like my eighth gallery. I have an entire gallery, 4 galleries of just other people's art that I've collected, just putting their art out there displaying. So just as we have this little lapse, I just want to invite everybody to go ahead and, it's not, don't just, cop stuff, put it in your wallet and wait. Like, display it, show what you have, and let other people see it. And that way we can really push each other's art, push each other's work. Because, we might just see a little avatar somewhere, but someone put in a lot of work in there, and let's show what our community is doing for each other. All right, peace.
I love that. Love that. Thank you for sharing that. In the meantime, I have a couple of breaking news here. One, I just got the update for, I guess my Twitter just updated for businesses. Businesses now have a box PFP, which I'm not a big fan of. Well, at least it's going to take me some getting used to. The box and the gold check mark, which is pretty interesting there. Next, China. This is huge. This is huge news. China is set to launch its first regulated NFT platform on January 1st, 2023. So why is that big news? We know how China feels about cryptocurrencies. We know how China feels about Bitcoin. So for them to say, you know what, this is something that we want to regulate, we want to do, I think it's coming from the Chinese government. Maybe I have to do a little bit more research, but um, I think that's pretty interesting. I don't know if it's going to be strictly NFTs from China, or are they going to cross paths and integrate with some NFTs here across the world. It'll be exciting. It'll be exciting to see how that plays out, because at the end of the day, the blockchain is the blockchain. So let's see how China plays this game. Master, do you have any insights or any thoughts, comments on what China is going to be launching on January 1st? If you're there with us. Guess not. Guess not. Ladies and gentlemen, I went to 3 people, and all 3 of them are AWOL. It's okay. It's okay. These guys are AWOL, but it's okay. Next, I wanted to announce XXX.eth. XXX.eth is coming soon to a blockchain near you. XXX.eth is building the premier destination for the adult entertainment industry in Web3. So if you're interested in getting updates on this, if you're interested in learning more about what this is, simply go on XXX.eth.limo. Go on that site, enter your email address and your .eth name if you want to, and we'll be providing updates and all that good stuff later on. But this is the start to greatness, in my opinion. This is the start to something that the community is building, and I think it's going to be special. I think it's going to be special for many different reasons because we're pushing the envelope forward, right? We're doing things that has never been done before. And for those who haven't already checked out vpn.eth.limo, that is one example of potentially what you can build with this tech. But those are the two breaking news that I had for today. I'm going to go over and get any final remarks, final thoughts, comments, anxieties, frustrations from anybody on stage before we probably call this one a day. Ron, you there, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say a couple things. That was great. That speaker came up and asked, some basic questions because, yeah, you think you know something until you get called on it or you have to answer. And so those are some great points. One thing I would say is the first thing is, the speaker he was talking to thought it was a way to have a human readable crypto address. That's huge. Um, and a flex. And what made me think is I was reading this morning that with the Tesla stock going down, the richest guy in the world right now is that Bernard Arnault, right? That owns Louis Vuitton. So married to Salma Hayek, right? Um, so don't don't discount the flex. Don't discount our are wanting to flex, are wanting to show off to people, are wanting to feel good. Sometimes it's just about uh, feeling good about ourselves too, right? Sometimes I don't know, maybe we feel better about wearing a Rolex and maybe a Timex. Maybe we feel better about driving a BMW instead. Whatever the reason is, it's human nature, right? So, and it is a big thing, and it will be more and more as this becomes what my thesis is, one of my biggest theses and the biggest use case is our Web3 identity. You know, um, I think we want to, you know, I think a lot of us, we have these communities. Some of us want to maybe become more anonymous than not. Maybe if you've ever changed schools and stuff when you're kids, sometimes it's nice to be able to reinvent yourself, be who you want to be. And I think that the Web3 identity is a huge thing. That's why I'm big on flex names. I'm big on, funny names, memorable names, nicknames. I always gave people nicknames when I was a kid. I don't know why. I always used to give people nicknames and they seemed to stick. And, but I think I always like nicknames and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that the Web3 identity is a huge piece of it. The flex is a huge piece of it. And I mean, think about that. The richest guy in the world right now, 100% of his wealth was made on people flexing handbags and luggage and purses and things like that. So something to think about. Um, the other thing is just the enormity of .eth. We see Michael Saylor making huge bets on Bitcoin. That's great. I love Bitcoin, but I also love Ethereum even more because of the utility and what it does. So make no mistake about it. A bet on ENS is a bet on Ethereum. And, you know, one by one, I see the so-called Ethereum killers. That was a real thing, by the way, a couple of years ago. Everything was an Ethereum killer. And really turns out there's no such thing at this point. And I don't think there will be for a long time. There's Ethereum helpers, Ethereum tag-alongs, like, you know, some of the layer twos we see, right? Matic and Arbitrum and stuff like that. But Ethereum is huge, and I don't think it's going away. And it's decentralized, decentralized. Don't discount just because a lot of these governments are wanting to do CBDCs and take advantage of it. Decentralized, censorship resistant, um, immutable. All these things that make the blockchain powerful are what make ENS powerful. Um, yeah, you can get rugged, right? Like look at the people who got canceled. Look at the people who just got canceled and pulled off. Andrew Tate, right? Like that guy or hate him, he got canceled. Everybody canceled that guy. Now it didn't work, it seems like, but that censorship resistance is important, right? And that's the key tenets. That's Ethereum is more decentralized than these other platforms. So yeah, I think we're in the right place, right time, and I don't think there's even a close second at this point. Is there room for everything? Sure there is. Sure there is. Right? But is there even a close second? No, in my opinion. And don't forget, as you study the network effect, you have to be 10 times better to overcome the first movers, right? And so keep in mind, can't be twice as good, can't be 3 times as good. Statistically speaking, you have to be 10 times better. And I don't even see someone a tenth as good as Ethereum. So I'm comfortable being here. It's good questions to ask, but if this happens, I think it's going to be with Ethereum and with ENS.
Yes, sir. Thank you for Ron. Great response. Verse. Go ahead, brother. Any final words, thoughts, anxieties, frustrations? Echelon, go ahead, man. Echelon, you there?
Yeah. Sorry, sorry. I actually want to apologize before I dropped from the space because I was receiving a call. So I apologize. I wasn't leaving.
Oh no, it's all good, bro. All good, all love. You don't gotta apologize for stepping down.
RN1 was talking to me while I took a lot of his advice, but then I was getting a call from WhatsApp, and I was like, "Damn, how can I close this?" And basically, I was on the WhatsApp call while there was also the space on it, so we were both hearing the space on the WhatsApp call. So that was funny, but yeah, I apologize.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go over to Flossin. Flossin, go ahead, brother.
What is up, man? GM. Hey, were you coming to? Hey, was I one of the 3 earlier that you came to and we were ghosting you?
Yeah,
Oh
you
shit,
were,
dude.
bro.
Bro, I was rugging, man. Like, I don't know what is up with Elon, man. Of course, we got the emoji pill tonight. They better be chilling out. I better be able to spark that space up because I'm gonna be pretty pissed if I can't join in on my own space. But nah, hey, we have a lot of things happening, man. This is a good day. I'm pumped, man. Even in a bear market, and I'm getting more and more bullish. I'm starting to see more and more people wanting to figure out like what is ENS, like not just what is it like a flex, but actually how to use it. So definitely looking forward to our big mega space next week, right? Workshop and how we can grow the community as well. Um, Also, I'm kind of starting to like get out of my comfort zone, right? Like it's pretty easy going to these ENS spaces and just kind of vibing with everyone who already knows about ENS. But I've kind of been like stepping out of my comfort zone, going to other spaces that are more PFP related or shitcoin related, and just kind of seeing like what the sentiment is, right? And pop it up on stages when I see a .eth, and just popping the questions like, "Hey, what do you know about your ENS?" Doing the same thing in comments, right? I got one of the NFT morning show founders replying back to me about ENS just a few minutes ago. There's another PFP project called Tweak Labs. I came in their comments because at one time they were building with subdomains. Got a response out of them. So definitely, I want to challenge everyone. Like, let's do more, right? Let's get out of our comfort zones. Let's kind of branch out, because at the end of the day, like how are we going to scale to where we want to be if we don't do that? If we just keep remaining in our bubble, talking amongst each other, the adoption will be slowed. So I definitely want to challenge everyone. Let's break out of our comfort zones. Let's get in other spaces, and let's start growing. Let's start building. Let's start doing more than flexing our domains. Let's start using them. So shout out to a lot of people who've challenged me, right, to do better, to want to learn more. Drea's one of them. ENS Punks is one of them. Brian, Kev, you. I mean, everybody, man. There's so many to name. Like 00, right? ENS Vision, like. We can't forget about ENS Vision. Like, they changed the game for us, right? And they're about to change it again in 2023 with that subdomain marketplace. So if you can't tell, Kev, I'm pumped. Let me just stop going on. I'm going to be breaking some news tonight, by the way, on Emoji Pill. And then I might be breaking some more news next week as well. That's another little teaser I'll give you guys. So looking forward to the rest of the show. Looking forward to the rest of today and the rest of the week. And Happy New Year if I don't speak to anyone else until 2023.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother. I will certainly be on the Emoji Pill space tonight, and I encourage all of you guys to check that out as well. Crow, take us away, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me up. Ron mentioned something about nicknames. I posted a story in the chat about Big Willie Robinson. So I saw Big Willie expiring on ENS Vision, scooped it up, Googled it, and this story popped up. It's worth a read for everybody. It's very inspirational. And to piggyback off what Flossin said, this is kind of what I wanted to come up here and talk about, is to branch out. Like, a lot of NFT projects, a lot of people just don't know about ENS. When I was at all the in real life events, most people had no idea. And these are people that all have MetaMask accounts and have Ethereum in their wallets. I think it's very low-hanging fruit to onboard those people into ENS. So that's what I wanted to say. I appreciate y'all, and have a great day.
Agreed. I couldn't agree any more with that, Crow. I think there's two big differences here. There's the Web3 native people, which are the low-hanging fruit people, the people who are into NFTs, the people who are actively in the market on a day-to-day basis. The people who have MetaMask accounts, the people who use OpenSea and LooksRare and all these other marketplaces, they just need a little bit of direction, guidance. And then there's another challenge of the normie people who we have to onboard into Web3. That's a little bit more of a taller task, but I think what Flossin makes a great point. Let's tackle the people who are native to Web3, who are involved in the community, just not in the ENS community. Because it's not that they don't want to be a part of this community. They simply haven't just yet been educated on this community. Echelon, we'll end it with you, and we'll call this one a day right after that. Go ahead, brother.
I was just gonna say that basically the spaces that you guys are doing, it's amazing because it gives, for example, the people that don't know what is about ENS, or they've just heard it a couple of times, or they don't know about the technology. It's really great that you guys are pushing the narrative of ENS via spaces, and I hope that there is going to be other people. I would like to start ENS or other topics spaces. However, my account is still small, so I'm trying to collect now my voice, and then maybe try to help out and push out the narrative. But yeah, I'll try to stop by other times. And I also I want to tell to all the people that are listening in that please don't be afraid to speak out. So the only way that you can get more information is by questioning. So if you question something, then you're gonna get an answer. If you don't get an answer, you'll find it in some other place. So thank you, guys.
Yep. Thank you, man. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we do the show every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about all things Web3 market related with a focus on ENS. If you haven't already checked out our sponsor of this show, our official sponsor, vpn.eth.limo. That is LIMO. Check them out if you are looking for a VPN or you just simply want to check out a cool .eth webpage. With that being said, 5159 is out. I'm wishing everybody a great day and see y'all tomorrow. Peace.